off that 2-track. Now I'm on this little, probably was a forestry road at one time, logging road. Again, it's 5th September, Northern Ontario. Yeah, it was good. I caught a bunch of walleye or pickerel. One night I must have caught about 12 of them, the other night 5, and then it got progressively less because there was a weather change. A cold front blew in from the east, and what they say, wind from the east, fishing the least. Well, and it was a cold front, and it rained, and it just shut them down. I did catch a couple of small ones, but they were hard won. I did a lot of casting for those. Even the pike shut down. So yeah, that cold front's really shut them down. It'll pick back up again. Like today's a nice sunny day, probably all right, but my reel kind of messed up on me on my last cast, so I got to kind of pull it apart. I think it's just needs to be lubed. The bail apparatus, either that or the spring broke. I don't know. That spring is like from 1977, 78. So, you know, that's had a lot of casts on it. But yeah. So anyway, it was weird too. It was on my very last cast last night. Just something kind of stiffened up on the bail arm. But anyway, that's alright. You pull it apart, lube it up, take the spring out, clean it. That's probably work Jim dandy. If not, at home I got a spare bail spring. I ordered some spare parts for it way back when I was a kid, and I can still have them. Whoop, there goes a partridge just took off. Anyway, this is the drive out. I gotta air up. Hopefully there's a restaurant in Ignace. We wouldn't mind having some breakfast. Because that's the next place of any kind of population that I'm gonna hit. It is Ignace. This is a winding road here. Whoa. Yeah, I want to kind of stay off these potholes. You can see somebody else that's been down here and they know this road, and they're hugging the edge every time the potholes come up. Sometimes you just have to go through them. And I'm aired down to about 18, 19 pounds from 35, over 35 pounds. And I can still feel that, but it's made it so much better. Whoa, look at these. Yeah, there's some wicked little potholes through here on this road. Just take them slow, I guess. Swerving around the potholes. That's kind of the deal here. Wow, look at them all. I'm trying to swerve around them. Just to go straight through those ones. This looks like the person who was here went through here the last. It's got a narrow, non-aggressive tread pattern tire, which kind of tells me they went on here on road tires. Jeez, that must be a lot of fun. aggressive tread patterns, like not an all-terrain. It looks like a highway radial from what I can see. And yeah, it'd be a hard ride. The road or something. See some partridges, or even a moose. This is wild up through here, I'll tell you. You go to either side of this road into the bush, and it's like miles and miles and miles of bush, lakes and rivers and stuff. Some of the trees here are starting to turn. Some of these little trees. It's September. Just starting to, the greens are starting to go yellow, and what the hell is that saying? I never noticed that before. What does that sign say? It's interesting. There's nobody coming. Oh, dump closed. Ministry of Natural Resources.